Hi guys. I feel like that's the theme of the night or the day, so to speak. So this is a different live. I've actually tagged and have one of my incredible clients and Stacey coming on, and this was actually an impromptu type thing. We had a really wonderful conversation yesterday, and it spurred us wanting to come on and talk. Hi, Stace. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm
Can you
doing
hear me
wonderful.
okay?
I can hear you perfectly. You look
Okay,
lovely
cool.
tonight.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah, I notice everyone else's hair because I have none, so it sort of makes
Exactly.
sense now.
The best
So
dating advice I ever got was don't ever date anybody for their hair because they're always going to lose it.
mm, it's so funny. My fiance, her mom told her, or someone told her that that don't rule out the fact that you might end up with someone with a kid and that's bald. And she goes, "That's not going to happen." And here I am.
Here I am in my
Here I
glory.
am.
That's
Um,
amazing. Great.
well, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. We had such an amazing eye-opening conversation yesterday. Frank Tercy is on. Hi, Frank. Do you know Frank and Vonnie?
I have no idea who that person is, but hi,
If
Frank.
it, Yeah, they're amazing. I love them. They're great. Good to see you. I think it's the first time Frank's ever come on my Facebook Live. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, we had a really really interesting conversation, and you know, obviously we haven't even finished going through everything that we need to go through in our training. We're only about 2 weeks in, and I just kept getting message after message after message from you about how powerful it's been in what I've been showing you. So first, before we jump into all the LinkedIn stuff, introduce. I mean, because you'll probably have some of your friends on here since I tagged you, but there's going to be a good deal of mine. Just do a little introduction about who you are, what your background is, and what led you to saying yes to network marketing.
My background, well, I've been in sales for, gosh, almost a decade, if not longer than that. And I was introduced to the opportunity about 3 years ago. And I am the kind of person that I would never say no to any opportunity. I knew very little about multi-level marketing at the time. And in addition to becoming, a product user, I also said yes to the business, and the rest was kind of history for me.
Awesome. So you reached out to me, and we connected through a mutual friend, Christine, who I also did some work with, and we had a pretty awesome conversation. And I believe it was like the first or second week in January. It was right after the new year. You were hitting some frustration points in your business that I was just speaking right to, and you're like, "This is exactly what I need." So I don't want to fast forward to what we're doing now. Talk about a little bit about where you were, because it really doesn't matter if you're 3 years in or 3 months in or 3 weeks in. There's a common denominator when it comes to frustrations with building a network marketing business. So talk about what that common denominator has been for you, and also with all those that you've been speaking to that are not doing what you and I are doing now.
Right. So I don't know that you even know this, but January was my last hurrah. I didn't sign up one person in the busiest months of the year,
The
as they say.
resolution period.
Exactly. And I was, my social media presence was what I would consider fairly strong. We had um, we had the systems on sale, and all of the reasons in the world why you should join and come and join the opportunity. And not one, it was like crickets. And I was actually very surprised because I did a lot of work on all of my lives, especially my Instagram live, my Facebook, and just my posture on my Facebook page, just letting my network know of all of the opportunities. And so when I got no calls and, not even one booked appointment, I actually said to my husband, Michael, I said, well, this is it. Scott is my last ditch effort. I will not purchase another thing, sign up for another event, nothing, if I don't have a significant shift in my business. Posture is huge, and I work on my posture all the time. I work on my integrity. I use the word integrity a lot with people, and sometimes I think that people don't even really understand what that means, especially what that means when you work for multi-level marketing. It's not about getting the bottom feeders and people that, you don't want to step on anybody's toes. You have to have a certain posture. And so I've really worked on maintaining that. The personal development journey, I was told, you will not be successful in this industry if the personal development journey is lacking for you. So the multi-level marketing company that we are associated with propelled me forward to getting my health coach certification, my life coach certification, and a master's in coaching, specifically because those 3 courses were so intense, because you have to know not only what you're talking about, but you also have to be a product of the product. And a client, you can only take them as far as you're willing to go.
Right.
So that personal development journey was, and still is, obviously always ongoing. And I have the bills to prove it, And I said to my husband, I was like, you know what, if I don't feel a shift in my business here, I have to direct my attention elsewhere. If I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, why isn't there a shift? Hopping on the calls, listening to the calls the next day, making notes, jotting notes, talking to people. I'm in sales. I've been in sales for forever. I have no problem having a
Stace,
conversation.
let me ask you something. Did it feel like busy work to you at a certain point? Like you just felt like you were just doing those things because it was suggested for you to do them, and it was almost to satisfy that that notion of, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but nothing's changing. Because the one thing that I shared with you that you completely resonated with is that you can do all the personal development you want. You can plug into every call that you want, every podcast, YouTube videos till you're blue in the face. But if you don't have new people showing up in your network and having conversations, presenting this opportunity, you have 0.00
Doesn't matter.
opportunity to build a business. Because I
100%.
tell people all the time, you can do all the personal development, you could be a positive personal development junkie, but is that translating into business growth? And 9 times out of 10, it's probably not, because people aren't doing the actions. Because between you and me, and there are so many articles out there now, Stace, where they say Facebook and Instagram have changed. They are not what they were years ago. They don't produce leads. You have to go somewhere where you can actually converse and talk to people that are open to an opportunity. So because I was your last ditch effort, not that there was any, that wasn't on my shoulders. Like, I didn't feel any pressure from that, but
you're welcome.
But from the very get-go, when we got started, what was the first initial shift that you felt or you saw in what your new daily actions and habits were?
Wow. So every successful upline that I've ever heard speak has always said, you need to treat this like a business. So,
well, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you?
Well, it means, showing up for the calls, being prepared, doing your research, posting, et cetera, et cetera. But Now it means something completely different because LinkedIn is specifically for business. I'm not having cleansing conversations with people. I'm having business conversations with people. It is a completely different paradigm. It's not even the same, like, it's not even the same. It's
Different ball game.
apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's, and the posting on Facebook and on Instagram, that is very important. You need to maintain your presence. You figure out who your avatar is.
100%.
Be somebody on social media, but outside of, your small little world, how else are you going to grow exponentially in an MLM, especially since everyone seems to these days, especially in my feed, be a part or affiliated with a multi-level marketing company.
So two things. Is network marketing sales?
100%.
Question number 2, is network marketing recruiting?
Yes.
So
yes.
Why aren't people doing it?
Well, first of all, it's a couple of things. You have to get ready to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
You have to be in the feels of, I get butterflies every single call that I'm on, and because you don't know what the outcome is. And then the second part of that is you have to disassociate from the outcome. The outcome doesn't even matter. It matters that you're showing up for your business, having business first conversations with people, and moving your needle forward. Each call makes you a better salesperson or network marketer, and that's how you maintain and hold your posture. So once you disassociate from the outcome, it makes it easier. But all of the other things still need to be in place in order for that needle to move, and in order for people to trust you enough. These are people that you've never met before. It used to be the guys that I would, or the gals that I would see at the coffee shop or the yoga studio. Let's connect on Facebook. Let me drip on you for 6 months, 8 months, whatever. Now it's, I just got off the phone with a guy, Dennis from Texas, Steve from Georgia, Tyler from Georgia, and another guy from Canada. It's, these people, you're not shaking their hands, but when you're meeting them on LinkedIn, it is the exact same thing as shaking somebody's hand and looking them in the eye. You're representing yourself as a professional.
All right.
And that's it.
Some rapid fire questions before we slow back down.
I'm scared.
Okay. Estimated connection growth from when we started till right now, on average, how many new connections, leads have you added to your network?
Well, I have to preface that with I started a week ago yesterday, connecting with people. We've been working with each other for 2 weeks, but it's really only been 8 days. My network has grown 154 people.
Wow, in 8 days.
In 8 days. And I have to be honest with you, Scott, I was so busy booking appointments, I wasn't even able to connect with people yesterday or the day before. It was too much. I couldn't.
Great. Now, so when I told you about more leads than time, was I not telling the truth? Like, it's literally the floodgates are open.
This is the greatest gift ever, because it's conversations. You want this problem. And like I said, not every conversation is going to be, your next big thing.
But Stacey, that doesn't even matter, because
right.
The same can be said for people on Facebook that reach out to you. It might not be like, it's all the same.
Correct.
It's the law of numbers. The person that talks to the most people is going to win. So, next question: business first conversations prior, and how many are you having now?
I was talking to somebody who does the same thing that I do, and we were talking about the same question last night. And first of all, I've never had a business first conversation with anybody that I've ever run into the fold. And when I have tried to talk about the business after signing them up, it was very creepy and really weird. And
walls put up.
And it's like, oh my gosh, this person just trusted me with their credit card information and, the next 30 days in their health and wellness. Yet I overstepped myself. And I've done that a couple of times. And I don't have the business builders to prove it.
Now, how many business conversations a week are you having now?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I have 9 this week.
Already?
And I had to stop. Yeah, I had to stop booking appointments because it was just not, I just could not
Not
find the
enough
time to
time in
do
the
it.
day.
So
And that
yeah.
also a great point. And going back to what you said about, getting lost in when you sign someone up for the products, and then you try to talk about the business, and then there's a wall that's put up. What people don't understand is that network marketing, multi-level marketing, it is an emotionally charged business. And I don't think this is actually talked about enough. And I say this to everyone that I talk to, what you have people emotionally connected to for why they're saying yes, that's where they're going to stay. So
100%. Yeah.
so if you're dripping on people all the time, and they're seeing um, products and specials and shakes and transformations, and that person then reaches out to you, they have formed an emotional bond and relationship to that. Then they reach out to you because they're finally interested, and you close them on some program. And then you say, oh, by the way, Stacey, I meant to tell you, if you can get two people to come on board with you, I can show you how to get your products partially or fully paid for. Would you be interested in? No. I'm not going to do one of those things. I'm not doing sales. And then people get upset. They're like, shit, I can't, this person doesn't want to do it. Then this person goes one step further. That person loses 25 or 30 pounds. And then you're like, Doris, just share it with your friends. Share it with your networks. Like you've lost it. Well, I don't, because here's the thing. Ray Higdon says it best. He says, most people are attracting snowflakes to the snowstorm of entrepreneurship. So what I've done, and this is what I teach, and you're learning this now, I've literally tried to reverse engineer. So I work from the end in mind. And the end goal for every single person is to have a team. And you're going through it. I focus on something called Get One, Teach One. You focus on one new builder a month. You figure out how many conversations it's going to take to get that one, and that's the number you look to hit each month. If you're leading with the opportunity and someone is interested in it and they have the emotional connection to that, you're still closing them on the products because that's why they're saying yes. But never again are you going to be, oh, by the way, there's a great business here, because
Right.
you are looking people with sales backgrounds. You are looking for people that believe in multiple streams of income, that want to make more money. So what has been, you wrote 3 beautiful things that you took away from this. And the one thing that you wrote, and I'm coming back to this, the last 4 people I've interviewed have all said this. They've said posture. So I want you to talk about the emotional state that you were in before we started compared to how you feel now with your posture about doing network marketing at this phase of your business.
So I am very thankful that personal development is absolutely required in order to be affiliated or be successful in multi-level marketing, because had it not been for that, nobody likes me enough to trust me. This thing doesn't work. This is not for me. I had this question in my mind initially when I first joined, and I was seeing all these people walking stages and, really celebrating their success and on the calls and stuff. And I was like, well, geez, if they can do it, then I can totally do this. I work in New York City. I've been in sales. I'm used to the no's. It's not a big deal. It's like no, it's like a water off a duck's back.
Right.
And there were times where it was just like I'd roll my eyes and say, all right, well, another month goes by, or I'd set my own personal goals, just like I do, with my sales job. You set your own personal goals and you really hunt and you go after it and you go after it and you think you're doing all of the right things, and yet you're still coming up short. And, honestly, sometimes I didn't come up short. There were some of the goals that I did hit, which propels me and in the peaks and valleys of the business makes me feel like, oh, okay, well, maybe I need to work harder or do something different. But now it's not only a different ball game, but it's a completely different conversation. My posture is completely different. And it's brilliant because it makes complete sense. It's business led. You can't be a business builder if you're not a cleanser first. And
who do you think
these
walks the
people,
stages? Who walks the stages?
well, exactly. Exactly. And
The
I
business
lead with
people.
integrity. Yeah, you have to be a product of the product. So inevitably that circles around and you sign them up for a system or whatever. But what's important is that they are now part of your network as a business builder, linking arms with you, sharing the vision. You know, you had just mentioned something about talking with people who are, you know, my avatar or my kind of people.
Mm,
Well, I just spent the last probably about 45 minutes drilling down and only connecting with the people that I want to have conversations with.
mm.
I've never had that problem before. It's been anybody and everybody. You're interested, cool. You're the creepy guy from down the street. Great, I'll go to your house and have coffee. Because I was so desperate to make the sale, because
Right,
I know you're only one away from the next best thing or biggest
right.
thing or your momentum. So now it's not even, it's ridiculous.
It's quality over quantity, and this is something that I still don't understand why it's not being taught because it
It's a
just
shame,
makes
I have to be
sense.
honest.
No,
Yeah.
it is a
Well,
shame, and it frustrated me for a lot of times. But here's the other thing, and this is something that I'm a big believer in, is that we are in the digital age right now. We are in the age of technology. We are in the age of social media, and for people to really think, like, you know, they're in the beta testing right now in the U.S. for LinkedIn Live, like everyone. Yeah, I mean that. Like, I am literally salivating at the fact that I'm going to be able to do Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and LinkedIn Live. And here's the thing. I'm just going to tell people straight up, if you're on LinkedIn, you're not following my system and you're posting before and afters and all the product-based shit on LinkedIn, stop, because eventually they will shut your account down. They will.
yeah.
They are going to crack down so hard on people trying to push products on LinkedIn because that's not what they want it for. They will shut your account down. So talk about the fact that you also mentioned organization, because you know I gave you your checklist, and you see my flow and how I am very disciplined with the daily actions. So, and even though you and I both come, you know, I have a tremendous upline, so do you, and both of these people are very organized. And but just talk about the discipline of having another type of organization within building business leads first from something like LinkedIn that I'm teaching you. How has that benefited you in just the last 8 days?
Well, instead, because you do, I don't care who you are, I'm sorry, but you get lost in the scrolling and the trolling on Facebook and LinkedIn. I'm sorry, but shiny, pretty things that are for sale in the sponsored ads, they catch my eye. What can I
Mm-hmm.
say? You know, I do not believe in walking away from what you've, you know, already done on Facebook and on Instagram. But 90% of my time is on LinkedIn now. I don't even,
But
I might.
explain what that means. Like, because people are hearing that, they're like, "What do you mean 90% of your time?" And here's the thing, what people don't understand about Facebook and Instagram, you're supposed to post and get off, post and get off. There's no hanging out on
Right.
Facebook and Instagram unless you're doing an interview like this. This is the most time that I ever spend on Facebook is when I am so you're my third interview today. So I've spent about an hour and a half on Facebook, but it's been doing interviews, bringing value to my network. Like you said, all my other time is spent on LinkedIn, and people are like, how can you spend, you know, an hour on LinkedIn? Really easy. And it goes by like that.
100%. And I mean, one of the catchphrases for MLM is in the pockets of your time, you can build a business. Well, guess what? The pockets of my time are spent finding business builders on LinkedIn. I don't have all day long to hang out on LinkedIn and connect with 9 million people. I have 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, or I'll sit down for an hour, you know, whatever my schedule allows. And instead of, like I said, scrolling and trolling or thinking of what am I going to post or pre-posting or whatever on all the other social media platforms, LinkedIn is specific. I'm specifically reaching out professionally for business leads. it's to the point. It's a pinpoint. It couldn't be more specific. And it's fantastic. And I mean, talk about scheduling, like, I don't, all the green are all the calls that I have booked. And it's like,
Why do you think people are so resistant to this?
I think, out of fear. I think Facebook, as you had mentioned, I believe I saw in one of your lives, Facebook and Instagram, years ago was the
The
forum for
jam,
this.
the jam, yeah.
Totally the jam, and a lot of success happened back then for people, and I even felt a measure of success using those platforms, but that was a long time ago, and we always hear about the Facebook algorithms have changed, and it's Instagram is not the same as Facebook, and things are changing all the time, where so if Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same company and LinkedIn is owned by a completely different company that's a professional company, I mean, I think it's a real shame if leaders don't start really teaching and focusing
Everything.
on LinkedIn. I think that you're doing such an extraordinarily major, obnoxious disservice to your downline. It's almost insulting. That's my personal opinion. I think it's really not right, because this is where it's at. And
What
this
to,
girl,
to,
this schedule proves it right here for me.
to your point, what I've learned in any sort of leadership role, people will only do what you do, and people won't do what you're not doing. So when people are at different monetary levels in a business like network marketing, there's someone above you that's making $150,000 a year residually, doing what they're doing, still doing Facebook and Instagram, same thing. The desire, the need, the want, and the drive to actually look to add something new to their arsenal is not as great as someone that is struggling to even maintain consultant status. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm that person. That is how
And Stacey, it is unfair
that's
for
me.
someone. It's unfair for someone to say, you know what, Stacey, just continue doing what you've been doing. Just keep doing it. It's going to end up working, because the fact is that it's not like I understand why people are resistant to it that are making a lot of money, because they don't need to focus on it because they're there, and I get that, and they want to make sure that what they're doing is duplicatable, but it may be duplicatable because it may be easy to facilitate and to then put into action, but the end result is completely different from what they did 3 or 4 years before. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. There's no difference in hiring one kind of coach to help you professionally and then going out and hiring another kind of coach. You know what I mean? It's just, I
It just makes
don't
sense.
understand. It's just adding one more thing in your arsenal of, network marketing isn't creepy for people anymore. It's not your mother's Mary Kay. It's not like,
Everyone's
your
doing
aunt
it.
selling Avon.
Everyone's
Exactly.
doing it.
Everybody is doing it. So, why not? Like, I can't understand. And the success that I have felt, I am so beyond excited, because I'm out there searching for the no's. The first person I spoke to, I have a second call with him, and he's like, I need this. Absolutely. It was like a complete yes. The next call was not so much, and she was a little upset, and that's okay. But because it doesn't matter, because I'm having all of these calls. I'm having more calls now than I've ever had in any month that I've
Mm.
ever worked.
So would you
So I
rather
get the no's, and it's like, great.
so obviously there's a lot of shiny object syndrome in a multitude of things, but would you rather enroll 10 product users in a month, or focus on your one big builder every single month to create the residual income over time that you deserve?
100%. They say life is a journey, not a 50-yard dash, right?
Yeah.
And that is the case here. You really want to build a solid foundation and solid people. And, you take a risk most people have another source of income when they join an MLM, and you take a risk and you see the vision and what it could look like and how life could be. And that is a slow build. And wouldn't you rather have a slow build using a system, hiring a coach that knows what he's talking about, teaching properly, teaching your business builders properly? It's it
It makes
doesn't,
sense.
it makes perfect sense,
So
you know?
before we head off into the sunset tonight, um, my question to you is this. You know, doing something like this, like you said, can be a very, very scary thing for someone that has never used LinkedIn before, because our first conversation went like every one of my conversations goes, I have a LinkedIn profile, but, and then that's as far as people know what to do with it. They don't know that there's all these nuances that I have figured out, that I show you all these different things to do. So with how you were feeling before and compared to how you're feeling now, and there's so many people that are on the fence of wanting to learn LinkedIn, and they're waiting for someone to teach them that I've worked with, which I don't understand, because it's just like hiring Jeffrey Combs. You're not going to teach you what he taught me. You go hire him. I'm not going to figure your stuff out for you. um, it's the same thing. So just talk about, like, just overall, what are you most excited and happy about now, after knowing what you know, after saying yes to us working together?
Oh, see, I will be in the words of, I think, Bethany Frankel, I will be a massive success. I will be a huge success. There is no doubt in my mind. Um, it's a combination of things: posture, as I've mentioned, not being afraid to hear the no, not being afraid to have the conversation, having the right system, hiring the right coach who's going to teach you, who was the trailblazer, and you're following in the footsteps, you
Mm.
know. Because you do need a system. You do need to be methodical with this. This can't just be some fly-by-night thing,
Yeah.
when you have a couple of minutes. But it can be, it can be when you can do this in only a couple of minutes if you're very specific in the way that you do it. So I just think that, I mean, from not really from just having my profile picture up and a little bit about my business and my history, I was feeling pretty good. Like, I worked on it, I spent the better part of an afternoon. No, this is what you're going to do. And I am a business professional on LinkedIn now, and I have like a sense of pride. The way that I'm reflected to the network is extraordinarily professional. And here I am, rubbing elbows with people who are not necessarily in sales like me, but are CEOs, CFOs, and so on and so forth. And
They're just people.
they're just people.
They're
They're
just
just
people.
people.
And
Yeah.
the fact that you can grow a network up to 30,000 compared to the 5,000 on Facebook, it's people don't realize it's such an advantage of
Yeah.
having that number of conversations being possible, because people blow through their warm markets literally in a matter of weeks now, in on Facebook. Like, literally, like, you have maybe a week or two to really capitalize on it. You get a bunch of enrollments right away, and then you have dribs and drabs the rest of the time, and then
Right.
you end up feeling shitty about yourself because you feel like you're doing something wrong, when you're doing nothing wrong. You're just missing the other piece. There's two pieces to this puzzle. There's being present on Facebook, where people know a system and a lifestyle that you use, and then the business that you're a part of. You need to be talking to both kinds of people. How it is 100% virtually impossible to be a six-figure earner in any network marketing opportunity with just customers,
Oh, 100%.
because that means you're enrolling all these people. You need a team building with you to create. And I said this to you, Stacey. How about, remember what I said? What if the companies took away the product enrollment bonuses when you brought someone in, and they only paid you on the residual income side? There would be a shit ton of people not making money, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, before we sign off, number one reason why people need to get on LinkedIn, learn how to use it the right way to build their business.
Because if you want to be successful, that's just where you have to be. And there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Period. End of story. You want to have
So,
conversations with people? It's on LinkedIn.
so do not take it from me. Take it from Stacey. If you want to ask her more, she can share with you what she's doing with me. She can connect you with me. I know this works, and I instill this posture and this this mindset into every single person that I work with, because I tell them this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. If you want to sprint, go down to the lottery, go down to the gas station, buy some lottery tickets and start scratching them off, because that's not what this is. This is the long-term game right here. So if you want to learn more from her about what we're doing together, or you want to come right to me, I do 15-minute discovery calls. Stacey, thank you so much for jumping
Thank you.
on with me tonight. Congratulations on all of your success so far, and looking forward to catching up with you later this week, and looking forward to continue to fill that book with appointments, because remember what Eric Worre says, the scariest point of any network marketer in their business is when they open up their appointment book and there is nothing written down. And that's not going to happen to you ever again.
No, it's not.
Have a great night, my friend. Grateful for
Thank
you,
you.
and thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stace.
Bye.
So as you can see, guys, this is all about posture, organization, and really taking your business to the next level. If anyone wants to learn more about how I can help them, I do free 15-minute discovery calls. Send me a message on Facebook. I would love to speak to you, learn more about you, what you're struggling with, and how I can help. Or reach out to Stacey. Just say, hey, how awesome is what he's teaching you? How is it going for you? Would you recommend him? Because I want to see so many people succeed. That is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Guys, love you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.